Patrick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I hate to delay it for a bit, but the applicant does have an opportunity for rebuttal, so.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I forgot all about that. Applicant, anything at all you would like to?
Thank you very much for taking the time to being here. Thanks all the audience, opponents, supporters. I just would like to extend my notion to the Pastor Ranch. If you're having a traffic issue on Sunday, you're more than welcome to use our parking lot. So we extend that to you at any time. And please, we do have a place, we do have a open house day for any opponents who have objections about us, they don't know us, please come over and visit us. Because really what I've listened to the last 3-4 hours is basically misinformation, it's not true information. You gotta get to know the Muslims to avoid all your fears. We've been around for over 1400 years, we'll be around to the end of times. So we're not going nowhere. Temecula or no Temecula will be around, so it's better because I suggest that you get to know us. Second, regarding the traffic or the crash study, according to KOA consultants, really our project does not really require any crash study. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does it require any study? The crash study for our project? It doesn't have any impact.
Good driver.
And for the value of the homes, I believe our project will add value to any home as much as the beautiful City Hall building being built over close to the 15 freeway in our town. Any businesses will add value. So we will not, our project will not cause any devaluation of any values, of the home values. Regarding the Sharia or the Sharia law, believe me, I have 3 daughters and a wife, they don't wear the hijab. And I pray 5 times a day and I tell them what's the importance of it. We cannot force that even our own self. Sharia law is not even applied to most Muslim countries. Do you think it's going to be applied in a secular society in the United States? With all the TVs added get bombarded day and night? That's going to happen? Do you really think this is going to happen in this country? It's hard for us to stay praying 5 times a day. To apply Sharia law, it's not going to happen. So this is really invalid, misinformed information. Plus, I mean, there's really no room for hatred. Let's just get along among each other and love each other and live the community. That's why I immigrated in this country when I was 20. I'm 55 years old. I've been here 35 years. I have achieved the American dream. We immigrated from our country to live here to avoid prosecution and to live the American dream and exercise of freedom of religion. So this project really has no negative impact in the community. I would like to ask the Commission to approve it. Now regarding the traffic issues and what have you, if we grow by numbers, believe me, as a chairman, as a board of directors, we will abide by the laws, we will carpool. There will be no 1,000 cars driving in Nicholas. Believe me. That would never happen in my lifetime, neither in my kids' time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson?
Yes, I made a list of some of the questions and comments that came up, not in any particular order, but one of the questions was regarding access on Nicholas, and it was indicated that the Baptist Church was denied access on the Nicholas and that there was access on the Nicholas from this project, and that's not the case. There is access on the Presbyterian Church, but there is no access for the Baptist Church nor on this project if it's approved. Both of their driveway ingress and egress would be on Calle Calibre. The next question was, is the property in the floodplain? The project is designed in 2 phases. Phase 1 is clearly out of the floodplain based on hydrology analysis that the city has done. We did a Nicholas Valley preservation analysis over the last 2 or 3 years, and part of that was having a hydrology study done to analyze where the actual floodplain line is. That has not actually been designated because it hasn't been officially mapped by FEMA, but based on those hydrology studies, we do know that the probably the northern 25% of the lot, which is basically would be where their parking lot is in the floodplain. And they have a condition of approval that's attached to this project that basically says they cannot pull a building permit until such time as they process what's called a conditional letter of map revision through FEMA in order to determine the floodplain. And if it is in the floodplain, the way their site plan is designed, really the only area that would likely be in the floodplain is the parking lot, which is the same situation as the Baptist church and the Presbyterian church. Parking lots are designed, if in floodplains, during inclement weather, 100-year storm event, they flood out. The buildings basically have to be constructed out of the floodplain. I think we talked about the draft resolution parking, and I may ask the traffic engineer to get up and talk about this. Our parking ordinance bases parking for religious institutions. It does not differentiate between a Jewish synagogue, a Catholic church, or Christian church, or a Muslim mosque. It is based on a criteria of 1 space for every 3 fixed seats, or if you don't have fixed seats, it's 1 space for every 35 square feet. One of the comments was made that you can put more people into the prayer room than in a church. However, when you actually look at each prayer rug in a mosque is approximately 15 square feet. So the actual number of people that you can put into an assembly space is actually less than what would be in a church. This is being built in 2 phases. The parking is calculated based on the number of seats in the assembly area. Once phase 2 is built, the assembly area for phase 1 will become a multi-purpose room. But even if they were to have to provide parking for both of those prayer rooms, if they decided to keep both open, they would still have ample parking because they're about 80 spaces over what's required by the code. And then the traffic engineer has some ITE, International Traffic Engineer, information about parking for mosques. And maybe you want to get up and speak about that now.
Very recently, the ITE did publish some preliminary information, and they do disseminate recommended parking rates for different types of land uses. And they came up with a recommendation for mosques of 6.3 per 1,000 square feet. If you run that out, that results in an amount that is somewhat less than is being provided fully for the project. So
it's about 150?
It's about 150 plus, 155, 58.
Yeah, and they're providing 181 spaces. So, even if we revised our code, which we may do, in a future date, we feel confident that there's enough parking provided. I think the issue of the minarets has been discussed. They are not proposing calls to prayer. That is part of their statement of operations. If they were to change that, they would have to come in and amend their conditional use permit. If they by chance just decided to do that without city approval, they would be in violation. We would send our code enforcement department out and require for them to come back before the planning commission to modify those conditions of approval. The infrastructure is part of this analysis. We looked at the serving this property from a water and sewer standpoint. Both Rancho Water and EMWD have indicated that they can provide service and there's adequate capacity to serve this project, both phase 1 and phase 2. Also with infrastructure, one of the questions was, well, who pays for the public improvements? Like all development projects, people are required, or project applicants are required to construct their public improvements for their frontages. In this particular case, they would be putting in sidewalk, curb, and gutter along Calle Calibre and widening Nicholas Road on their side of the street to its ultimate design width and building sidewalk, curb, and gutter. At this time, I'd like to ask Greg if you could explain what the improvements are that Aurora Paw Ranch will be doing for the area.
Sure, Patrick, thanks. To elaborate a little further on what Patrick initiated to do, there was some concern about street width and things like that. When they do the improvements along their frontage, Calle Calibre will be improved to city standard. They'll have 40 feet of pavement between curbs, which is enough for travel lane in each direction, plus parallel parking on either side of the street. The improvements along Nicholas Road will also improve Nicholas to its ultimate width along their frontage. There are a couple other things mentioned about the condition of Nicholas Road. I'm well aware of what the condition is. I took an item forward to the city council meeting at their meeting of the first meeting in November to approve plans and specifications to rehabilitate Nicholas Road all along that stretch in there. So that should be happening soon. I will have my maintenance crews go out there and monitor potholes until that gets implemented. But we do have a $5 million pavement rehabilitation program annually, and Nicholas Road is on the top of the list this year. Let's see, you talked about the floodplain. The improvements at Nicholas Road the improvements that will be done if the Aurora Paw Ranch project moves forward will include full width improvements from the ultimate terminus of Nicholas Road, which is out the extension of Butterfield Stage Road, well east of the project, all the way out to where it's currently improved to its ultimate width. Those were conditioned upon the Aurora Paw Ranch development, and they have design plans all the way up into the crossing of Santa Gertrudis Creek, where they were in the process of getting the resource agency approvals to build a bridge over that creek and ultimately improve the intersection of Nicholas and Calle Garrisol to its ultimate condition as well.
Okay, and the when Aurora Paw moves forward, which we actually are seeing activity at Aurora Paw Ranch. The panhandle, the Aurora Paw Ranch is shaped like a cup and a handle. The panhandle, there are 5 tracks. We're working with 4 developers right now to process improvements on that. So that may be moving forward, and we understand that there may be activity in the pan. So that actually could happen sooner than later. The access road to the fire station is actually, we're going to be going out for bid on Butterfield Stage Road. I think
We have an item on the upcoming council meeting to approve plans and specs and go out to bid to get access to Butterfield Stage Road from the Walcott corridor via, I think it's Calle Chapos on that side of the stretch. So we'll be out to bid with that shortly and be out to construction probably within the next 3-4 months. As far as timing on when you would see Nicholas Road go in, there are conditions on the Aurora Paw Ranch development that improvement needs to be in before they can pull a building permit in phase 2 or the pan side of the development.
Yeah, and the construction of Butterfield Stage will essentially improve Butterfield Stage and Murrieta Hot Springs Road, and that'll provide access to the fire station. So that would be, I think, by the end of the year, next year?
Next year or mid-year the following.
Okay. There was an issue about truck traffic. Undoubtedly there is truck traffic on Nicholas Road. This project will not generate truck traffic, so the truck traffic that's there is basically existing. And as Greg indicated, once Aurora Paw Ranch is developed, the road will be widened to its ultimate right-of-way. The question about accidents being analyzed in a traffic study, even though accidents are an important thing to have records on, it's not considered in traffic impact analysis. Traffic impact analysis study basically look at number of trips that are being generated by particular projects that are being built in an area. The question was, or a comment was made that the Baptist Church paid a kangaroo rat fee of about $10,000. The Islamic Center will be required to pay a comparable fee. The fee is calculated based on the size of the lot, and I believe the size of their lot is a little bit bigger than the Baptist Church, so their fee will be larger than what my Baptist Church paid. The other question was, could we limit the time frame for the CUP? Say approve it and put a 5-year